Hey, Jess.
Oh. Hi, Cindy. I don't see you, but oh, there you are. Hi.
How you doing?
I'm good. I am good. I'm just closing some things out and opening some other things before everybody, before 5 o'clock pops up. Oh my goodness.
I have so many different notebooks I need to.
Oh, I'm the same way. You know, I was just thinking about that the other day. I have so many. I need to like organize them better because it's like all over the place. Let's see. Some of them don't even use anymore, so they're just like a waste of space. I need to archive them. All right. Ooh, they have new party games on the business references page. How fun. They haven't added new party games in a long time. All right. All right, we're going to start in just a second. Let's see, 30 days. All right. Okay, it's 5 o'clock. So, all right. Hey, everyone. It is March 11th, Monday. Hi, Melissa. Today we're going to talk about, I decided that I'm going to touch base on Sensi standards every Monday. Just we're going to cover a little bit of the standards because I'll be honest, I'm guilty as well, is that I don't really focus on the updates and kind of bring myself back to going over the standards as much as I should be. I learned the hard way when I first started, unfortunately, that I made some mistakes that I did, like, okay, a rookie mistake I made is my team was built really fast. And I was just really trying to connect other consultants. And what I did is I sent out a list of all the consultants in my local area to all the consultants. And it was more like so everybody knows everybody's address if they need to swap products. But I didn't realize that was a privacy issue, that some consultants don't want other consultants having their address. And how I found out is a consultant made it very clear to me that she didn't want other consultants, and she reported me like I was this horrible person. And I got a call from Sensi, compliance, telling me that I violated a standard of privacy. And I was in tears. I thought, I was so scared. My business was brand new. I, was just trying to really like help everybody. And I thought of it like as they're your team. They want, they're to help you. And this lady didn't look at it that way. So I unfortunately had to learn the hard way in that situation. So I learned that it is so very important to look over your standards, and especially if you're looking to grow your business and you're looking at your business like a business. If you're on this call, whether you're live or recorded, you are obviously looking to do more to grow your business in some way other than just, to make some extra cash on the side whenever you feel like it. So we're just going to every Monday go over a standard, talk about it. And if anybody's had any experience in that area, or maybe if there's some questions, obviously we'll go over it. I'm always honest with you guys that I may not know the answer. I'm not compliance. So if I haven't gone through it myself in the situation, I may not know the answer, but I know where, we'll get through it together. We'll figure it out together. And hopefully we'll get you the answers that you need. So we're going to actually start from the beginning. And unless there's something, since the ones that are on live, I'm always going to give people that are on live the ability to say, hey, this is this is a standard I don't understand, whatever. And then here's the thing, I may not understand, but somebody that's on live may, and they may have been through that situation before, and so they'll be able to help. All right, so first of all, it's so important that everybody prints out their standards. This is from 8 years ago, the original little binder that I made myself that says Sensi Standards on it, and I just change it out whenever it's updated. Like I just printed out the new updated one, which I think was in January that they updated it. So that's my bad as well that I haven't updated my, this is weird. I just realized that it printed out. I may have an extra standards book for you guys. Anyways, so kind of get into the role of, checking if there's any updates on standards. If there is, it's worth it to print out a new standard. Yes, it's like, I don't know how many pages, 40 something pages or something like that. Oh, it's only 29. But it's so worth it. And you have it, when you have a new consultant, it's so worth to verbalize how important it is to print out your standards and bring with you your standard book so they can visually see it and then briefly go over it. It's not your job to walk them through the whole thing, but I think that if you go through it and just show them why it's important, then they're more likely to go through it. Because I don't know, I'm going to raise my hand. When I joined Sensi and I was literally clicking join and it had you, click to read the standards, I'm one of those people that just clicked right through it and said, I'll read it later. So how many were guilty of that? Right? So and that's what 99% of people do. I think I had one consultant in my journey that I was actually there with them when they started. She wanted to read through the entire Sensi standards on the computer before she clicked join. And I sat there with her for like an hour while she skimmed through it with her, which was her prerogative. And I always said that, as I say, if I'm sponsoring somebody and I'm there with them, I'll say, this is what it is. You can either read it now, or you can go back and read it once you're enrolled and you can print it out. And that's when I suggest them to do it. And then at least I give them the opportunity to actually read it. And you may get, like I did, that actually says, yeah, I want to read it right now. And then at least, oh my gosh, my husband's amazing. Thank you. At least you can say that, you know, you didn't stop them from reading the whole standards. All right. So without further ado, with all my blabber mouthing, the first part of the Scentsy standards is your rights. Your rights. As a current independent Scentsy consultant in good standing, you have the right to sell Scentsy products, participate in Scentsy compensation plan, recruit and sponsor other consultants, building your downline. Now, a lot of consultants don't know this. There is, and you get into this later on, but since that's one of our rights, you also have a right to not sponsor. Okay. So if you have a consultant that just doesn't want anything to do with that, they have that right. And then you can even later on actually decide to not be in a sponsoring role. We've had people do that before and it worked for them. That was their desires. And we've also had people that have decided to do that and then change their mind later. So it happens, but we want to make sure they know it's available, because sometimes people end up not enjoying their journey in their business because they feel like the only way they're going to be successful is by sponsoring. Now, there is a level of truth to that as far as income level opportunity, but a lot of people don't want that stress of having to worry about other people, even though we don't have to worry about them. But I think that's the human nature in us, is that we want to be able to help them, support them. And some people just don't want that on their shoulders. So it's important that people understand that that is an option. Receive official Scentsy communications, access Scentsy sponsored support, training, and recognition, participate in Scentsy sponsored promotional and incentive contests and programs, access an online consultant workstation that facilitates the records your business interactions with Scentsy. Another right is to contact the consultant support by submitting a support ticket, calling or emailing support. And then now obviously on the workstation, you can chat with people, which is awesome. And then the last one, I love how they put brag about you're a Scentsy consultant. So here's the thing. We think that people just automatically know that there's a Scentsy support. It's so important about verbalizing, making sure people understand that that's available to them. You don't want to be that person that they call for every single thing, because one, you don't have the ability to answer all their questions. Scentsy support actually is there for those reasons. Somebody called me the other day saying, my shooting star link is no longer there and I'm ready to buy my shooting star. What do I do? And honestly, I can't see their workstation. That isn't me. And it was a Friday, so I referred her to support. Support was able to see what was going on her workstation. So they're there for that. That's their job. That's what they get paid for. So don't make people think that you're the only option. You're their support system if they can't get through to Scentsy support, because Scentsy support is trained on every level, well, they should be, that actually has more answers than you do. So this is, and one thing that's so important is to know our vision with Scentsy. So the spirit and intent of the agreement, where specific standards are not already established. Scentsy refers to the spirit and intent of the agreement, which are to protect your right and ability to operate as an independent Scentsy consultant, protect Scentsy's assets and interests, protect opportunity for all current and prospective consultants, promote healthy business activities and relationships, and contribute to the mission, vision, and value of Scentsy. So in a nutshell, Scentsy's going to support you as a consultant, but they're also going to make sure that you are supporting the brand. And that's where these standards are in place. Because a lot of people take offense if they get an email saying that they did something wrong. I'm gonna admit that I got my first email last week that I did something wrong since that first one in 2011. And I was hurt. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize I did this. And I've been doing this for 8 years, but it was something that's new and I didn't realize I did it. So I think we all need to realize that we're going to make mistakes as long as the intent is not, is a good intent and we're willing to address it. So if you ever get an email that says you're out of compliance, don't freak out thinking that you're going to be fired from Scentsy or anything, but they do take it seriously. So when they ask you to respond, it's vital for us to respond within a certain amount of time. Let them know your situation. What I did is I tagged something wrong or something that was, I don't even remember what I did. Oh, I like flopped Scentsy and Disney. It was supposed to be like, I don't even remember, but it was Scentsy supposed to go before Disney or Disney supposed to go before Scentsy, whatever it is. You could see it in the facts with the Disney marketing, but all I did was flip-flop it. And it was a total unintentional thing. But I think when you care about your business to a certain level, it hurts you. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did something that is out of compliance. But what you need to know is that it's going to happen. And they are there to help you keep your business. So they're going to educate, they're going to tell you, they're going to literally quote the standard. And here's the thing, if you don't understand it, even when they do that, it's so important to contact your upline and say, look, I got this email. They told me, they quoted the standard, but I still don't understand it. Then you're going to get some more support from your upline. If they don't understand it, their upline is going to help you. If I'm the highest up that you're going to go, I'm going to go to somebody that's going to understand it. So you're not alone. And there's so many people that the standards aren't clear. You know, it's like, okay, well, what does that mean? So what I'm trying to say is that is why we have this team. That is why we have these calls, is so you don't have to feel like you're alone. And I'm sharing that I did something wrong. So it'll happen. It will happen. And the biggest thing is to make sure you recognize, you respond and say, hey, this is what I thought. This is why I did it. This is what I don't understand. So kind of explain yourself. And what they're going to do is they're going to coach you, slap you on the hand. But I will tell you, if you get 3 times reported to compliance, that is a point that you may get suspended, if not canceled, depending on the level of violation. So, and the reason why is because they said they're going to protect their assets and interest. They can't have a consultant like me that violated one of Disney's standards be the reason why Disney stops working with Scentsy. So they don't care if I'm a superstar director and I've been squeaky clean for however many years. If I am violating, they'd rather lose me and cancel my business than cancel their business with Disney. It kind of hurts on a personal level to know that, but when I think about it, that's just the way business works, right? So, all right, so we're not going to spend too much time on standards today. We've already spent 15 minutes, which I figured around that. But I'm hoping that if we touch base a little bit every Monday, it's going to not only educate and inspire you to actually really dive into your standards to understand, but it's also going to keep you it's going to be in the back of your mind of having your standards with you. I bring my standards with me to every party. I bring it with me to every consultant coaching just so I have it, as well as, obviously like a hostess or anything. So in case something arises and I don't understand it myself, I can go to my standards and hopefully find an answer. I have a binder in my car. I keep one in my car and I keep one in my office. So because you're not going to know everything, it doesn't matter. Again, I say this all the time, but I've been in this as many years as I have. There's no way I can memorize these standards. There's no way. Maybe there might be some prodigy on the line that can memorize those things. Good for you. But unfortunately, I can't do that. So give yourself a chance to use this as, I call it like when you first join, your consultant book and your standard should be like your Scentsy Bibles. You bring them wherever you go. Okay. And don't be afraid to also reach out to support or compliance and say, I was reading, section 1B, and I don't understand this. Can somebody call me so I can talk this out with you? Do not be afraid to do that. Because if this especially is what you're looking to do to make this an actual income for you and a business, they are going to support every level of you wanting to know, to understand your business. So I encourage that, actually. All right. I decided that this is something I used to do because I stopped doing Monday calls a couple years ago for different reasons. But I used to share what's going on in our team. And I want to start doing that again because I remember I liked hearing what was going on in our team when I still listen to Saturday calls, but you kind of like want to know what's going on with people. And so I want to share with you guys, it's the 11th of the month, so it's kind of like halfway through of what's going on with our specific group. And so kind of give some shout outs of what people are doing. And I'll start with PRV of who's like so far top in the month. So far in our group now, I'm saying this in our group, Cinnamon Stanley in North Dakota is at number 1 in PRV at 1,054. Nicole, Steakhouse in New Jersey is at 907. Let's see. We have Susan Shaw in Nevada at 648. We have Susan Ferreira in Hawaii at 636.29. Brittany Levine in New Jersey at 590. Mariah Doolin in Nevada at 590. Andrea Brown at Nevada at 500. So that was 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Carrie Boyles, I think. Excuse me if I hacked that up. In Arizona at 424. Keela Clausen in Indiana at 401. And in 10th place is Yvonne Duran in California at 387. And so here's the thing. I share this because I want people to see that it's possible that you can get a certain amount of PRV in early and in the month before the 15-day mark. So when you start your business, they give you that shooting star goal of 500 in your first 15 days. So I think that all of us should strive to put in their 500, and it's not going to happen. I don't have my 500 in yet, but it should be something that we have on the forefront of our brain of get that 500 in the first 15 days, and then everything is gravy after that. Because if you are growing your business and sponsoring and relying on sponsoring bonuses to grow, you at least can say, check, I did my 500, that part is done, and now I can focus on helping my frontline become active if they need that assistance. And then obviously the rest is not in your control as far as wholesale volume, which is why you can continue to sell for the rest of the month to help with your wholesale volume, because you have control in that. You don't have control of what your team is doing. But I will say that if you are doing those things, people are watching what you're doing, and they're going to ask, well, why do you put in $500 every month? Oh, it's because of this. And then that is duplicatable when they start doing those, asking those questions. And let's see if we've had some, I know we've had some people reinstate. I will tell you, they're still to this day working on a report to help me with that I can just pull up of who's reinstated. We still don't have that right now. So unfortunately, right now on March 11th, nobody has sponsored somebody new yet. That's okay. Basically, if, as long as we're sharing the opportunity with everybody that's selling, we're selling to, like all those people I just listed, hopefully they have shared the opportunity with the people they sold to, and those people just chose to place an order instead. And then at least they said we did our part. The people we've sold to know that it's an opportunity, and we did our job. And the worst thing we can do is sell them some products, right? All right, I'm going to take a little bit of an intermission right now and open up if there's any questions regarding the standards, or if there's any comments regarding what we just shared, the PRV and people like that. Just unmute yourself. If you have a situation that may have happened that you'd like to share and how you handled it or what you learned from it, if there was a compliance issue or whatever, we'd love to hear those examples. And then after that, if nobody has anything to share, we will move on to some ideas of how we can get your business into offices. Anyone? Okay, so I had a consultant recently reach out to me and ask me how she could get her business in other businesses and how she can approach them. So this is actually something that I did a lot when I started my business, and probably up until about my 3rd year, that was just a part of what I did, is go around looking for businesses to work with. And it's funny, when she brought it up, it made me go, that's something that I should be doing again, because I haven't done it in a long time. And it really does generate business for you that from people you never would have ran into. So a couple examples are, if you check your emails, when you first joined, you got an email from me in your first 70 days that talked about, oh gosh, how was it worded? Basically, it's dropping warmers off in businesses. And there's a couple things I want to share with you with my experience. One, it's very important to know the business that you are going to be going into. What type of a business is it? What are their hours? Have an idea of what type of people work there. It is ideal to have an idea of somebody that actually know them. Like if you know their name, you've worked with them, you've done business with them before, but that's not necessarily needed, because I've done challenges with people that have been on the team for long time ago. Like Jen Western, she is on the call right now, and she's been with me since 2011. And so we used to do a lot of this, a lot of challenges to get your warmers into businesses. And what we would do is we'd walk in and have a warmer with us and a couple cubes of different fragrances, and offer to, I remember it is I almost got it. Hold on, give me a second. Maybe, Jen, if you can unmute yourself, maybe you remember what it was. If anybody else maybe knows, it's something from Becca Levi that we learned. It's something about the week. It's the sharing week, or gosh, I'm going blank. I'm sorry, you guys. Oh, it's going to drive me crazy. You know that, right? I think they still have it on the Make It Happen Tools website, because I didn't think I was going to go blank like this. That's why I didn't have it already prepared. Wings for Dreams. So the Wings for Dreams, the Make It Happen Tools website has a lot of tools on it. They haven't updated it forever. So, oh gosh, I don't remember the password. In all these years, I finally forgot it. It's not even gonna let me on. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It's like, it's like you're giving,
yeah, I don't know. It's like,
you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I just went blank. Like, I don't know why my
I don't know if it's the, I know what you're talking about, and I'm looking for the postcard, but
she sends it.
Oh,
And I can't believe this is the
like
first
pay
time.
it forward or something like that.
Something like that. And I'm like, oh, hold on. Did I get on? Oh.
Something like that. Or like I've been challenged to blah blah blah. Pay it forward. Something.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Do you remember the username from Make It Happen to Work?
I know. I'm looking for the postcard. I moved my office. I used to have it like right somewhere.
It's like Wings for Dreams is the password and Sensi is the username. Sensi something.
I don't know where it is.
Oh my gosh. I cannot believe my brain is literally like not letting me remember this. Maybe I can go into my because I really want you guys to know what.
I'll look around too.
Okay, I keep going. Anyways, basically you go in and you tell them that it's a random act of kindness. Oh my gosh, it just popped up. Random act of kindness week. So you go into these business. Oh my gosh, it just went into my brain. I was like, oh, it's driving me crazy. So it's random act of kindness week with Sensi. We chose your business to share a random act of kindness and share with you Sensi. You're gonna get a couple responses. You're gonna get, what's Sensi? What is that? Oh my gosh, you don't know what Sensi is. So this is what Sensi is. It's a wickless candle, blah, 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 blah. You know all that. But the key is to plug it in, you guys, not just drop it off and hope that they figure it out, because here's a real live experience testimony. My mother-in-law is my tax lady, okay? And oh gosh, I was supposed to drop something off with somebody or pick something up. Anyways, she let me put my warmer in when she started working when she moved to Vegas in the H&R Block. Well, here's the funny thing. The manager that has been working there, she went underneath the desk and goes, oh, here's a warmer that somebody dropped off with us. And there was a label underneath it, which kudos to that lady. But what had happened is she literally just dropped it off with her, didn't tell her why, and left. And so she didn't know what to do with it. So she put it underneath the desk, and the lady never came back to retrieve the warmer. So that was a waste of her time, waste of a warmer, waste of product, everything. So what I'm trying to say is it's so important. It's great to get in there, and it may be scary to like actually go in but the thing is, if you're not going to actually tell them what it is and plug it in so they're actually going to use it, you might as well not even go in the business. That's what I'm trying to say, because the lady already had Sensi in their office and didn't plug it in. And I got my warmer in because I knew, obviously, she's my mother-in-law. And that poor lady never came back. So the manager brought the warmer home and started using it because I told her what it was about. And she loved it in her office and ended up becoming my client because I showed her what Sensi was about, right? So it's important to know from the get-go, it's going to be hard. It's going to be kind of uncomfortable walking into an office. You're going to get, no, thank you. No, that's not what I'm going to do. But you also may get the responses like I've gotten plenty of times of, oh my gosh, I love Sensi. We used to have a Sensi consultant and I haven't heard from her in how many, or him in however long. I can tell you right now, unfortunately, I'm guilty. There is a warmer across town in a dentist's office that I used to go to, my kids used to go to, and I haven't been there since because I've just not made a point to go. That's my fault. That's business I've lost. But hopefully another consultant has moseyed themselves in there. And here's the thing. If you walk in and you see a warmer, don't make that be they have a Sensi consultant. Because right now, if one of you walked into that dentist office and assumed they're going to, and if you ask them, they're going to say, I haven't heard from my Scentsy consultant. I don't know how long. Yeah, we love Scentsy, but we haven't been able to use it because she hasn't been back. So I'm guilty too. It's just the way it is. You know, sometimes things slip through the cracks. And I only remembered it because I was going to talk about it. So it made me go, ooh, I think I better go pop in there. And who knows? I have to be ready to hear that they already have a consultant. I hope they do, actually, because that would make me feel bad. And I know that there's actually a consultant, a frontline of mine that actually lives around the corner. And I told her to pop in but I don't know if she has. I hope that she's the one that's taking care of them. But again, that's an example that it's wasted business. So on my end, so don't do what I did. If you're going to go, make sure that you actually follow up. So, and okay, so other things that can happen is you may get an order like, oh, I love Scentsy. I actually need some bars, or I need this or whatever. And so don't be afraid to convert that conversation into, well, here, let's do this. Let me leave you some catalogs. Here's the testers. So make sure you have testers with you as when you're going to drop off the warmer, because it might turn into a basket party or a bag party or on the go party, whatever you want to call it, before you even lend the warmer. Because actually nowadays, here it is 7 years later after I did that with when I started doing all the businesses, it's more likely they're going to know what Scentsy is. And so you may turn your random act of kindness drop faster into a, oh, that's how she has her non-parties. That's awesome, Melissa. Yeah. You turn it into an on-the-go party. And the only thing that might be a little hard to figure out is who's going to get the reward. So I've had a couple things happen. They've decided that because a couple girls or guys, whoever was in the office came over, oh yeah, we love him, blah, blah, blah. So what I've suggested is like, okay, so how about this? You guys can either, do Rochambeau of who's going to be the hostess this time, and the next time the next person will be. Or I've even had people decide that the rewards were going to go for the office, meaning whatever, they'll get the free stuff for the office supplies, because they're actually there longer than in their own house when you think about it. They're there more at their work than they are at home. So they want the office to smell good, and so they're okay with the office getting it for free, and they're okay with buying it themselves. So those are the things that might come up. And if somebody wants to be the host and they're like, well, I want to get my stuff free, to say, okay, let's do this. Since I talked to Susan, Susan's the one I talked to when I first came up. Let's have Susan be the hostess first. And in 3 months, when you guys are ready to reorder, how about you, Cindy, be the host for that? And they're like, okay. And here you have an ongoing party. And the cool thing is, what is the hardest part about following up and actually connecting with your customers is because we all have different schedules, right? When you get a client that's a business, you know when they're going to be there, right? So you can decide every month on a Tuesday at 4:00, I'm going to pop into what so-and-so dental office, and I'm going to touch base with them and drop them off the warmer of the month scent, or the new warmer of the month flyer and the sample of the scent of the month. I have several businesses around town that I have a schedule with that to this day, unfortunately, that one is just so far that one I've kind of slipped through the cracks and stopped going to, which is, again, my bad. But there's people that have been my clients, businesses that have been my clients for years, and they know that every month at this time, I'm going to come in and show them what the new scent is and what warmer is. And I have one office that literally lets me they want the warmer of the month. They want a new warmer every month, and they purchase the warmer of the month because it's usually themed, because they're a very themed office. So they want Valentine's Day. They want, Halloween and all that stuff. And here's the coolest part, guys. You are going to be building relationships with these people over the years, over the time. They may never actually host on their own for a long time or ever. They may never join for a long time or ever, but you have a consistency in your business. You know you can rely on, XYZ tax company that they're going to place an order every whatever month or 2 or 3 or whatever, which is consistency for your business. But the nice part is that you will eventually get people that finally host a party with you because they built the relationship. They trust you. People do business with people they know, trust, and respect. Sometimes it's going to take a while. I have a client that I did business with her business for 4 years before she actually did any business outside of the business. Like, she purchased with me for her home. She never purchased with me, but she was the one I went to for the business, if that makes sense. She was the buyer of the business. She loved it. She couldn't wait. But because she was at work more than at home, she had her boss pay for it, which makes sense. And here's a very interesting story with her. One day, the theme of the office is like an ocean, like everything's like beach and, very like, so everything's always, all the paintings and murals is all like ocean and beach and whatever. So a few years ago, we had an octopus that came out, a Scentsy Buddy. So that was the first office I thought of, oh my gosh, this would be so cute, on the desk or whatever. And I text her, and lo and behold, she wasn't working there anymore. She'd been with this company for 8 years and was the office manager. And so I was like, whoa, what happened? Her life changed dramatically. 1, she had no job. 2, she was very not on good terms with this office, which made me go like, ooh, I'm going to be starting from scratch with this office, because she was my go-to person. Like, I don't really talk to the owner. I talk to her, So what had happened is we spoke on the phone for the first time as outside of the business, and I got to know her, and I found out what happened, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry this happened with you and your boss and blah, blah, blah. So I went out of my way to set up a date with her, let's go have, tea, coffee, smoothie, whatever you drink, whatever. And we got a totally different level of relationship. And it was then, years later, that she was like, I want Scentsy in my home because now I'm home all the time, but I can't afford it. I don't have a job. So what I did was I had her host a party so she could get free stuff. But the cool thing, what happened is that because she was having such a hard time finding a new job, her mom ended up paying for her starter kit for her. Guess what happened, guys? She earned the Disney World trip that year. Yeah, she earned her Disney World trip and grew a really good business. Now, she's not a consultant at this time because she found a full-time job and she didn't want to put the time into Scentsy anymore. But here's the thing, you guys, it fulfilled a need at the time for her. And now she's one of my most consistent hostesses again. Okay. So joining isn't always going to be a lifetime experience for some people. It's going to fill a need for the time that they need it. And that's what we need to be looking for, is how can we add value to your life when you need it, and it may be forever, like for me, and some of you, or it may be just at that time. So I'm just trying to paint a picture of what it can turn into. Okay. So, with your consistency, with your intentional follow-up, of when am I going to follow up with this business? So when you drop off that warmer, let's say that they didn't get all excited. They're just like, okay, we'll plug it in. We'll see what you like. It's so important to leave a catalog and verbally, visually say, here's my contact information on the catalog. If you have any questions, if anything comes up, give me a call. It's very likely you may get a 3 days later, day later, hey, what do we do? I want to buy this. Okay, that's something that might happen. But then you might also come back, and it's important to anticipate it, because it's not going to be so much of a, oh gosh, that was a waste of my time. Oh, but if you know it might happen that they're like, here's your warmer, thanks, and then You know what I mean? And they don't care that they had it on for it. I've probably had that happen twice in my entire career, that they're just like, thanks, that was nice, whatever. Oh yeah, there it is. And they, didn't even get any emotion out of it. But so if you expect that's going to happen, it's a numbers game, guys. It's the same thing as go for the no. You're going for the no with businesses. You're going to get some people that love it. You're going to get some people that, sorry, we already have a consultant. You're going to get no's. But then what's going to happen when you get that one yes? That one yes, I will tell you, I remember 2012 November, I did a challenge for our entire team to get a warmer in a business. So of course, I'm not going to ask you to do things that I'm not doing. And so I challenged, I went into that office, and I had a consistent clientele with that office for 4 years straight. And what they would do thank you referral gifts through me. It's an orthodontist, and he would buy a warmer and bars for all the dental offices, the general dental offices that refer their business to him as the orthodonist. So at some points, like twice a year, they'd order like 8 warmers and bars all at once. So I'd have like a $500 party with just that office, because I built the clientele and they trusted me. And they loved the products themselves, and they got people going in their office saying, I love this, and I got referrals. So I challenge everybody today to, whether you've done it or not, to think of an office that you may do business with. Because here's the thing, the way I look at it, if I'm doing business with you and I'm giving you my money, then I think it's important that you support mine. So think of an office that you do business with. It's some way, hairstylist, tanning salon, dental office, orthodontist. I mean, any office, it doesn't, tax people, whatever. I challenge everybody to step out of your comfort zone and put down on your to-do list for this week, since it's only Monday, to approach a business with a random act of kindness. Now, you can actually print out the random act of kindness thing that Becca has, which is it makes you feel like you're really, and you really are. You're saying, this is what it is, so they can read it. And what I'll do is I'll just try to find it. If not, I'll message Callie and ask what the code is to get in there. And then I'll post it to our group page and say, this week is random act of kindness. And hey, do one every week for the rest of this month. See what happens. You may get a few no's, but you may end up getting a yes. And what I challenge, and this is what I do for myself, is when I was doing that, is I would challenge myself to go to a business, an office, every week until I got a yes. And because this is all I've done since I've started, I actually challenge myself every day at certain points to get into an office. I've even had really cool stories. Like, here's a really, really cool story, actually. It was a tanning salon in New Mexico, and I heard this challenge on a training call. So I was like, oh, I go tanning there. That's where I'll start. And the owner she just happened to be opening up. It was early in the day, so there wasn't any customers. And I did the random act of kindness, and she's like, okay. She's like, well, what do I do? I said, well, if you can help me find a place to plug it in, I'll do it all for you. And it's just keep it in here, make your customers feel good. They'll have a nice fragrance when they come in. And, you have to be here all day. So you're going to, experience your tanning salon is going to smell great for a week. And she's like, okay, I could do this. What was so amazing about this story is when I came to pick it up a couple days, I think it was she's like, you could pick it up in a couple days. She told me that other consultants had tried to do that same thing before me. And I'm like, okay. I didn't know what she was getting. And I was like, is this bad? I was like, she goes, no, I want you to know that I've never let them put it in my salon before. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, so why did you let me? She goes, because I can tell that you're passionate about what you do. And you're doing this because you are sharing this because you truly, generally love what you do and you really want to build your business. I was like, okay, that's true, but how did you know that? She's like, it's the way you delivered everything, your delivery and your passion in it. So people pick up on those things, you guys. So if you're nervous and like kind of like awkward, they'll pick it up. So do some affirmations before you go in. Listen to some positive music. Call somebody that fills your cup for you, that gets you upbeat, makes you feel good about yourself. Whatever you need to do that. The reason why I was able to do it, because I was so desperate for my business to grow, that it was like pouring out of my body at the time. And she felt that. So, I mean, because she's the only tanning salon other than one other one, like 10 miles in there was 2 in the entire town. And so my sponsor, funny enough, I told this story to, she goes, Jess, I was one of those people. She's like, she told me flat out no. I'm like, I'm sorry, Cambry, but she's like, yeah, because I was weird about it. I didn't know how to approach it. She's like, I was awkward. And so here's the thing. You may be awkward with this business, but as you start to do it, you're going to gain confidence, and you know what I mean? And you're going to get a yes, but the goal is you can't stop until you get that yes. And that's just the way this business works, is that the only time your business is going to not work is when you don't, and you put the stop on it, because eventually somebody's going to say yes. It's just math. It's just statistics. So, if you need more greater detail, or, if you have an idea in your head, but you kind of need some help figuring out how you're going to approach this specific business, don't be bashful. Reach out to me. I've done it so much that I would definitely be able to help you figure out an approach. So don't feel like you're bothering me. I want to help you guys get your businesses in businesses. Okay. Again, the biggest thing is don't assume that they have a consultant if you see a Scentsy warmer in their office. Don't assume, because people start and quit all the time. Or they're like Jess, that moves across town and doesn't want to drive that way anymore. It's horrible. But that's your gain, right? That somebody just was lazy. So, all right, we only have a couple more minutes. Any questions, comments, experiences that you've had? Maybe. Okay, so Melissa, I'm actually going to call you out because you call them your non-parties. I love it. So do you have like a plan? Do you seek out like businesses and say, okay, today I'm going to go into this random business, or do you know where you're going, and do you already like what is your strategy, let's call it, or if there is one?
So I always have Scentsy on the brain. I'm always thinking about, Michelle always talks about being intentional. And so I think about that all the time. Like she had also said, it was either you or her, somebody, one of y'all great people said that we don't have commercials. So the only way that we can get, is by branding. And so if I know I'm going to walk into a business, or I'm going to be in contact with people, that's why I always have my bar on or something. And so I always have in the back of my head, like that it could go in that direction, that, I always like today I went and had lunch with some friends, and it was for her birthday, and I brought a bag party just in case, because you never know which way the conversation is going to turn, especially when you're trying to get to know people. So like tomorrow I have a dentist appointment, and I haven't been there in years. And so I'm going to have the intention of walking in there, asking, like I'm going to go branded. So hopefully somebody will ask me about that. And I'm going to do double whammy. So I'm going to be branded with my shirt and the bar. So, and they always chit chat like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm going to go to New Zealand. Why are you going to New Zealand? So it's like very intentional. And so when I walk into businesses, that's kind of, I do a lot of active listening, and I do that like all around me. So when I do these like sneak attack parties, it's based off of things that I've heard people say before. Like one of the sneak attack parties that I did recently, I called it her non-party because she was so mad when I told her she was having a party. And I was like, girl, you're getting some free stuff. Like, chill out. I had a brain fart. Oh my God, I totally forgot what I was saying.
I'm rubbing off on you. I'm sorry.
I walked into, because she had said to me, I love Scentsy. So this place was one of my previous, one of my very first person recruit that joined underneath me. She fell off. And so she left the entire school that she was at. And then she moved. So she left this entire school loving Scentsy and then left high and dry. So I went in there with the intention of knowing that these people loved Scentsy because she used to get all of her orders from these people. So I knew, like, all I had to do was dangle the carrot, and I just had to make sure someone else was around other than this person, because she was very shy with I don't want to do a party, I don't want to bother anybody. And so I made sure I went in there during a time where I knew that there were other teachers up at the desk, and I was like, hey, and she was like, so I just walked in there and I brought her some catalogs, and I was like, I have, Rosalie she's no longer around, and I know that you loved Scentsy, and, we just came out with Disney, and I know that you love Disney, and I just want to let you know that I'm here. And she was like, oh, that'd be great. Do you have some testers? And I was like, I sure do. And I pulled out my thing, and then it was one of my prize sniffer bags. So it has instructions with games on it so that they, like, if you it's something Michelle showed me, to get $10 in orders, you get to pick a prize. Get $200 in orders, you get to pick a prize. Fill out 10 order sheets properly, you get to pick a prize. And so I was like, and I was intentional. I purposefully gave this to her, and I was like, oh, sorry, this is my party game, but you can play it if you want. And so anyway, yeah, that's how, like, she did a sneak attack and she didn't even know it. And then the other one that I did, I had walked into, one person was ordering, and she was new at that office, and I was like, oh, okay, well, she was new, so there's got to be like other people. And then when she told me that there was someone in her office that had been ordering on Amazon, I was like, okay, this girl's gonna have a party, because we need to get rid of Amazon. Like, Amazon's to ruin the gig. So I walked in there, and then I walked out, and they had a party and didn't even realize it. I brought some party games. I just brought the samples. Like, I made samples and put them on a chain around my neck, and I gave each one of them, and I said, you guys can play throughout the day and steal each other's necklaces if you say the word scent or whatever. And they were like so excited, and then I delivered it, and it was, they were very excited. That's kind of, I always, who was it? Somebody recently did a training video that talking about trying not to, like, I'm very intentional about not using the word party. I don't want to say the word party. I don't want to say the word, like, join my team. Like, I try and, like, get in the back door, like, sneak attack them. And then before they know it, they're, like, having a party or they're joining, and they're like, what just happened?
Yeah. It is weird how words can really make or break you. Like, I know that there's somebody on my team that's my front line. She's been very successful in her business, but the word systems freak the crap out of her. So whenever I speak with her about what she's doing in her business, I can't use the word system. I can't tell her I can't say what systems are you doing, or, oh, this is the system I use. She'll be like, blah, 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 blah. Nope, I don't do systems. But she's doing them. She just doesn't use them that way. So it's the same thing with our customers or hostesses. Like, for some reason, if we use certain words, it, like, turns them off. But, like, you found a way to, like, I love how you say sneak attack or backdoor. Like, it's so true. Like, join my team is about me. So then they're like, oh, you're just trying to do this. But if you're using words like, what I say,
come with me on the next incentive. Come with me to the next trip. Like,
yes.
You could do this too. Then they're like, really?
Or buy your starter kit. So it's about you. Like, and starter kit, it doesn't, like, scare people as much as, like, join. They're like, what am I joining? I've literally had somebody say, I don't want to join, like, direct sales, some of them get, like, culty. Like, I don't want to be a part of cult. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, really? But that's what they think, because there's their past experiences or whatever. It, like, triggers something for them. So we have to be creative. And
this totally is a cult, though.
It's a good one, though. We all know.
Drink the purple Kool-Aid.
A cult full of happy people.
your question.
Oh no, you totally did. I think you did. I don't know if it did for anybody else, but I really think that it's real. What I always say is anywhere there's people with beating hearts and blood going through their veins is a Scentsy party. I mean, I know the word party freaks people out, but that's what you're doing. It's an order. You're collecting orders. You're putting it together. And then what you're doing is you're surprising them that guess what? Now you get free stuff. And they're like, what just happened? How did I do that? And you're like, it really is that simple. And what you're doing is you're showing the simplicity in what you do. So they're able to go, oh, well, I could do that. Instead of like, because they think there's like this whole plan of like, they have to plan invitations and, I gotta, like this one lady's like, I don't cook. I can't do a party. I'm like, cook? What? Why would you have to cook? And she's thinking she has to put a big old spread on for these people. And I'm like, girl, I don't cook. I don't know what you're talking about. So it's like listening, like you said, paying attention to the things that are triggers. And so that was what was holding her back, is she didn't want to put a big spread on and cook for people. And I'm like, oh, that's what you thought this was about? Like maybe some salty and sweet stuff and maybe some water. If you want to put lemonade out, that's what I would do, and it gave her like the, whoo, okay, I could do that, So anyways, we have like 2 minutes left or whatever, because I have to jump on another conference call. But does anybody want to share anything or comment or ask any questions before we cut this off about anything we talked about?
No, I just want Melissa to do like mock parties. You're like the party girl.
Yeah.
Seriously. Like all your girl. Yeah, you are. Like the way you do it, sneak attack. Oh, I'm like, I could be all over that. Totally.
I love that sneak attack. I'm
gonna hunt you down.
That's like a bumper sticker or like a hashtag or like a shirt. You should make your own shirts, Melissa.
Because the words part, yeah.
When you promote to director, that should be your name, your team name. Like
my team name is Team Yes I Can. I already came up with that.
Oh, did
Team
you?
Sneak Attack, yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's
Team
so
Yes
awesome.
I Can, because it's not enough for me to tell you that you can. You have to believe it for yourself. That's what it is.
Amen.
Team Yes I Can.
Yes, I can.
Taekwondo.
Yep, victory.
Yep.
I love it. That's our karate studio, victory, and that's their theme is yes, I can. It's awesome.
Aww,
It doesn't challenge you. It doesn't change you. Very good mottos. All right, my sweet ladies, thank you all for being on live with me, and anybody that's recorded, we hope that this was helpful for you. If you're on recording and you have questions, don't be afraid to comment on the post or reach out to your upline, meaning your sponsor, your director, or myself, or I may be all three. I don't know, but that's what these are for. So we hope that they add value to your business and hopefully lift you up in some way. And we will talk to you next week. We have Director Michelle Brooks on as a guest speaker to share with you guys her tricks and skills that has helped her in her business. So we'll see you then, everyone.